Whew, I just want to take a breath after listening to you, Tim. For real, I do. I want to acknowledge really and truly the beautiful gift of being asked to share my perspective on my unconventional route to success. And really and truly, without my family, without people like you who are in my circle, that would not be the case. So miigwech for being with me, cheering for me, all the good wishes that I've received leading up to today. It really is a true honor for me to be able to say that this is one of my bucket list items. I can actually say, welcome to my TED Talk. So let's see. Okay, PowerPoint. I'm hitting the go button, team. And I don't see anything. Oh, there we go. All right. So, Elizabeth, Mino Bimaadiziwin, Indigenous, Jajak Dem, Wating Dada, Wukumakong Donjaba, Anishinaabe Kwayandao. I am the oldest daughter of these two people holding me as that little baby. I am very grateful for the foundation that they set in me, that I've been able to, very fortunately, share with 2 generations in my family now, not only my children, but my grandchildren. For the movers and shakers that they were, when I think about my mom and my dad, who were residential school students, who from way back to the very first memories that I ever had, taught me about standing up for what was right. They taught me about choice, and they taught me about the importance of knowing that you have the power for those choices. And sometimes, hey, live and learn, right? Sometimes those choices we make are not the greatest ones. Sometimes they actually cause lots of heartache. Sometimes they cause circumstances and experiences that were like, wow, that is not what I wanted to do or what I planned. I really do honor and acknowledge Beatrice Shawanda and Jim Edgar for laying the foundation that they laid in me, for allowing me to understand what it means to be a mover and shaker, and that I do have the choice to make those kinds of decisions that allow me to do what needs to be done. I think I'm supposed to go like this. And so actually, while we wait for the next slide to show up, there we go. I have to talk about how important it was that they created what we called an experience of understanding that we belong to the world human family. That we really, truly, as Anishinaabe people, yes, we have beautiful teachings and rituals and customs and traditions that make up who we are. As you can see here in my selected photo, they taught me that we belong to the world human family, and that is just as important and sacred as somebody else who comes from another part of the world. I was fortunate to be raised all over the place, and so every time we moved, really from Toronto to San Antonio to San Diego to Timmins to the Yukon to Wukumakong to Calgary to Sault Ste. Marie and Sudbury, all those different places that I lived were experiences that have me standing before you, that have me practicing what I practice in terms of success. I learned from different people about the world being a playground, that it's an exciting place, that it's not a place to be afraid of. And I'm really thankful that my mom and my siblings, we all went on that crazy journey together. And that the response to everything and anything that we may have been faced with in living in those places was really about choice. So for me, there was starting at a very young age, there was a common thread about choice that was evident. And so the next picture, when it arrives, is my honoring of thinking about 7 generational thinking. And what is that? What does that mean? All of the things that have created what we call the good life. Thinking about how I want it to be 7 generations from now. That everything I do right here, right now, is a part of that. Everything that is a part of me is a part of that. And so, again, it comes down to choice. What am I going to do with that? How am I going to be remembered? When I meet Creator someday, and He asks me, what did you do with the life that I gave you? How am I going to answer that? What am I going to say? And I think probably for me, one of the most important answers is that I lived my life as best I could, making choices that allowed me to be mindful of those coming after me. Whether it was moving to a new place, whoever's coming after me, whether it was leaving a job, who's coming after me, that I leave something, a legacy, so to speak, that is powerful, beautiful, sacred, respected, and that it's my choice to make sure that that happens. And so when I think about my children, my 4 children, the beauty of our teachings as Anishinaabe people is that they choose you. They come to you. They choose to come to you. And then the thought about my grandchildren who have now come to my family, the next generation, amazing to me that they have chosen us. And we're going to be passing along, the wonderful teachings of choice. I think the other thing that's really important to remember and acknowledge is that somebody's always watching. Somebody's always watching you. Somebody is looking to you because you're a role model. You made them feel good. You made them feel inspired. You made them feel like they are magic, the magic that they are. And I love that there are people, I'm old enough now to have received feedback that I made a difference in somebody's life, that I impacted them, that they made choices because of me and my interaction with them. That actually is a beautiful thing. If you ever have that honor for someone to come to you and tell you that they did that for you, embrace that, because it means you are making a difference. And I think it's really important, to acknowledge and understand that we don't always recognize or realize that there are people watching us. I remember receiving an acknowledgement not too long ago from the University of Niagara Falls, the Founders Award. I was completely shocked when they messaged me to let me know they're all the way down in southern Ontario. And how did they know about me and the work that I was doing? It was because a colleague of mine saw, and a colleague of mine talked, and a colleague of mine shared. And so that acknowledgement of what we call Mino Bimaadiziwin, the good life, that I am doing the best I can to lead in the choices that I make, is there. It's evident. People see. And so my next picture, you have to be aware that there are going to be events and circumstances that aren't what you planned for. I remember living in Sault Ste. Marie here in Bawatang at the time of Idle No More. And I remember worrying about all the work that I did in the school board, the different school boards actually, about promotion of who we are as Anishinaabe people. Doing education and awareness, cultural sensitivity, just teaching people about who we are. And then Idle No More happened. And we saw some clashes and we saw some opportunities that maybe weren't exactly most welcome. Hard conversations were happening, and sometimes ignorance was happening. And I remember, this picture here is of my son and my 2 nephews. And that I wanted them to be movers and shakers too, just like my mom and dad had always been, just like my mom and dad taught us to be, me and my siblings. And one of my friends captured this photo and I was like, oh, this is great. So I used it in one of my grad courses, and the prof was looking at the material and what I had written, and she was absolutely amazed by this picture. For me, it reminds me about choice. Again, it might not be your favorite thing that you have to do, and sometimes we have to do it, and sometimes, many times, it's uncomfortable, but it still has to be done. And so choice, again, affirmation of what we're showing that next generation in my family, in our community, how important it is for that perseverance, that love. And as you can see here, confirmation and affirmation that the next generation is going to be okay. My granddaughters Oakley and Nwadazo are going to learn about who they are. They are going to learn that every child matters. They are going to learn that we are beautiful people. They are also going to learn that we carry lots of pain and that it is possible to heal. They are going to learn that it's going to be sometimes about choice. And so my granddaughters are affirmation for me that the next generation is going to be okay. They are affirmation for me that we are leaving a good legacy, those of us who are doing that work. And when it comes time, as I indicated before, I will be able to face my Creator on the day that I meet Him, and I will be able to talk about this good life, the choices that I made, and hey, sometimes they weren't that great, and you can call me on it, that's okay. I will apologize, and I will move forward. I will continue to move forward. That is my commitment, not only to my family, not only to my people, not only to the community that I work with, but to myself, because that's what success is. And so I acknowledge, all of these different pieces of me that have contributed to how come I'm standing here talking about my unconventional route to success. That I'm sharing with you that it's not just me, that there was a whole community behind me, that it's not just Liz and what Liz is about. It's not just the Batchewana, Webkamigad, Edgar family and what we are about. The community of Wekumakong that I come from and the history that I carry there, it's not just about that. It's also about my circle and the people that have been a part of that circle. And I think in closing, if I'm to think about one of the powerful messages that I heard last week, I was in meetings, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to have met a new friend. She actually has written a book, and she talks about that book, the importance of understanding the words, I am medicine. I absolutely love and believe that statement 100%. That's me. I am medicine. And I need to be cognizant of how to use that medicine. To be aware that anytime I use my words, I can choose to liberate somebody or I can choose to oppress. And my choice is to liberate, to free, to be kind, to be loving, to practice honor and respect, to use the wisdom that I have gained in my getting older years. And I am going to ensure that while I'm doing all of that, that I practice truth, honesty, bravery, courage, and most of all, love. Love and kindness. That I can have the opportunity to share and show somebody that's how you do it. This is how you love. This is how you share that wisdom that you've learned. All those the school of hard knocks. Tim shared some great stories, beautiful stories about his life. And many of us have those kinds of stories in our heart. Some of us are able to share freely, some of us aren't. But what's so important to know is that you, in the extension of that kindness, just like me, I have learned, you might be somebody's lifeline. You might help somebody have that little bit of hope. I remember saying to a colleague one time at the university when I was working there that sometimes that's all I have is hope. There's nothing else but hope. Hope for a better tomorrow, maybe even a better afternoon, because man, this morning was crazy. Maybe even hope for a better next minute. But sometimes that's all I have is hope. I thank you for listening. I thank my relatives, my ancestors, and everybody else that was a mover and a shaker before me. I thank my family. I thank my people. And certainly, I thank the people who thought that I should stand here and share with you. In my language, our life, the good life, is Mino Bimaadiziwin. I am the medicine, and so are you. And I welcome you to join me in honoring this good life that we have, that we've been blessed with. Chimigwech for listening. Chimigwech to all my friendly faces that I see looking at me. I'm so glad that you came and joined. Fellow students, past students, friends, colleagues. Really, truly my honor to share. Nahau, miigwech. Oh, thanks.